Today was the fourth positive day in a row. The markets rose up again, showed good momentum until the close of the day. So let's look and analyze the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and see what's in store for the rest of the week. We'll start off with the daily analysis of the S&P 500, and as you can see, the market rose for the first day, the second day, the third day, and this is the fourth day with a considerable jump compared to yesterday's close. And it has touched the 50-day moving average line. And as I predicted, and as I mentioned in our call yesterday, that the market would touch the 50-day moving average line and then possibly correct itself. So this is just a timestamp as of end of day, but I just want to show you what happened next. So if I just move ahead a little, you will notice that as soon as it touched the line, the market then corrected itself and started declining. So if I go down a time frame, you'll see that in the 4-hour time frame too, the market touched the 200-day moving average line and then started declining. And that's predicted. The market has a lot of upward momentum. It has reached a level of resistance and it's now trying to correct itself. So that's expected. Now to get a better picture, let's look at the weekly charts. Now, the weekly charts too does see some kind of resistance at the 20-day moving average line, and that's something I mentioned in a few of my previous videos as well, that this is expected, that the market may correct itself around the 4547. So it did try going up intraday, could not hold its ground, but then started declining further. So what I do predict in the coming days of this week is that the market may kind of stabilize around the 4540 mark. Now, if it does break this and move higher, that's a good sign. That means the market's forgotten its downfall over the last 4 weeks and is heading in the upward direction. The next analysis will be of the NASDAQ 100, and as you can see, the time frame that I have right now is the daily time frame, and the daily time frame, the NASDAQ did touch the 20-day moving average line. Now it doesn't have the same capacity to go all the way up to the 50-day moving average line because the technology was hit much more compared to the broader S&P 500. So it did touch the 20-day moving average line, and there's a big jump down since then. So this is real-time trading, and as you can see, the market's still declining. So do expect a correction tomorrow. Now it's all a matter of like what support levels would the market hold on to and then start moving upwards. But do expect a slight correction tomorrow. Tomorrow could either be a volatile day or a more so down day, because 4 days of steady upward gains is on an average the most that you would see on the market, because before it starts correcting itself and then moving either upwards or downwards from there. Let's look at the weekly analysis as well. So this is the weekly chart of the NASDAQ 100, and as you can see, it is holding ground to the 50-day moving average line. Now the 50-day moving average line is very important, especially on the higher time frame. So it's a good sign that it's not moving lower, but it's holding its ground in that direction. Now, there is a prediction that if it stays or stands its ground here, there could be more upward momentum in store for the NASDAQ, but it's only a matter of time before we could really tell where it's headed. But it's a good sign from like just a weekly snapshot of where the market's sitting on right now. A few weekly or daily gainers for the day. Google was a top gainer. There was a news of the earnings announcement that came out yesterday, and at the same time they did announce a stock split of 20:1. So what that did was it did project the stock upwards. This is an like almost like a rocket into the sky and went into an all-time high. So that's a really good sign for Google. Google did come out of its broke all its moving average resistances and moved higher, but I do not expect that Google will just like skyrocket more up. What's going to happen is that it's either going to correct itself and move a little down, or it may just try trending a little more high before it corrects itself. Markets rarely ever would give you such a gap of air where stocks don't come back and correct itself on those as well. Another stock that did extremely well today was Costco with almost a 2% gain. Now, I do personally also own Costco, and I feel it's a really good stock to have on your portfolio. So Costco showed a steady increase over like 1, 2, 3, 4 days of steady increases, and now that it's on the 50-day moving average line. It's a good sign that it actually closed above it. That means that there is still strong momentum in store for the stock. So there could possibly be a chance that it would now head towards the 528 before either deciding on just kind of like correcting itself, or maybe just like staying there until it gets some breath and before deciding on which direction it should move in. So Costco right now seems to be really strong and positive, a good stock to have in your portfolio regardless of the price. Another stock that did extremely well today was United Health, with a 2% increase over its previous day. So United Health again has showed good momentum in the upward direction over the last few days, with a huge increase today. So yes, this is also another strong stock with good fundamentals as well on its balance sheet. So another good stock pick, and it's also showing like a good technical trends, like in the upward direction. It has stabilized and broken the 50-day moving average line. Let's quickly look at the weekly charts to just get a better picture. Here again, it has not hovered below the 20-day moving average line. It's just seldom ever did so. So yeah, a good stock, good upward momentum trajectory, a good stock to just keep in your portfolio for a long-term investment as well. Now, speaking of stocks that you should not have on your portfolio, this is Netflix. Now, Netflix did show a little bit of promise by going up for a couple days with good, strong upward trends. This was, I think, around the 10% plus mark in a day. But that's just to compensate for the huge decline that we saw over a gap of like a few weeks. Now, Netflix did go down today, and today was like a 6% drop. But to show you a better picture of what exactly this decline looks like, you could easily see here that Netflix tried going above the 200-day moving average line. That's the blue line that you see on your screen, and it broke that. And that's a bad sign for Netflix. That means that the market or Netflix is not able to hold on to the 200-day moving average, and it's declining lower in the long-term time frame. So just a word of caution on Netflix. If you have this in your portfolio, just keep an eye on the 200-day moving average line on the weekly chart, and just like pay attention to where it's heading, because a little more decline and it'll kind of start tanking closer to the bottom, because a lot of the investors will start getting rid of the stock from their portfolio as well. Another stock that did extremely well today was Qualcomm. Qualcomm went up almost 6% today, just today itself. And it's almost kind of like shy of its all-time high. What I would recommend is that, like, if this was earlier, maybe a couple days before, it would have been a good stock to get into. Right now, you can see it's pretty volatile around the top. And that's not a good sign, because there could be a correction coming. It may either like start dropping down again. If it breaks through the 190 mark, or like maybe give it a little bit of a buffer, 192, 193, and if it consistently trends in the upward direction, that's a good time. You could then look out for a breakout trade and get back into it. But now I guess the gains have already gone. There's not a lot more in store, without seeing some small slight correction in there as well. Another stock that shot to the moon today, in not the literal sense, but went pretty high, opened up, touching the 50-day moving average line, was AMD. So AMD showed like a pretty flat day yesterday, but it showed a very high spike up and then started declining today. And the same was with NVDA too. NVDA like shot up and then started declining. So this was again, it has touched the 50-day moving average line, so there could possibly be some kind of correction as well, because it's come from below the 200-day moving average line. So it may either hit the 200-day moving average line and then start trending higher, or it may just like correct itself a little, hover around the 20-day moving average line and then trend higher. So that's just the update for today. I hope you enjoyed a small summary of what the market did and what's in store for the rest of the week. So do let me know in the comments if you'd like to see something else, something more, or if you have any questions that I could help answer for you. So with that, have a good rest of the day, and I will see you in my next video.